everybody. I hope everybody's having a really good week. So this week we had a request to do a platform pop-up card, but they wanted to do something with Winnie the Pooh. So here's our envelope for it, and we are going to do a double platform card. And this is what it'll look like, and it'll stand up like so. And I'll lay it this way so you guys can see what it looks like. So why don't we head over to Design Space, and I'm going to show you all the pieces that we will get in this file. I'll meet you over there. Okay guys, when you open the file for Design Space for the Pooh Bear double platform card, it's going to look something like this. If you want to add any additional pieces to your card, go ahead and do that. On the Pooh and the two Poohs and the piglet up here, I did do a backside for each one of them in case you want a pretty side on both sides. Don't forget to go up and name and save your project. And if you want, we can go ahead and get our pieces cut out, and I'll meet you at the craft table and I'll show you how to put this together. I'll see you there. Okay guys, so why don't we this week start with our envelope. It's a double platform card, so it's going to be a little bit bigger of an envelope. So I thought we'll work that one first. So we have 4 score lines, one on each side. So let's go ahead and work those. And this envelope will fit on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, or cardstock if you're using cardstock. I'm using a lightweight paper. So we have our 2 flaps and our longer flap. It's going to go on top of our 2 small flaps. And we're just going to put some little glue on each side of this. So let's go ahead and do that. And then voila, we have our cute little envelope done. So we can go ahead and set our envelope aside and move on to our card. In the file, there's 2 different colors for our platform. I chose to do my bottom platform in blue and then my top in green because my top is tree. And on my cardstock, I used 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. Both of these and this one too, if you rearrange it yourself, will fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Before I did my cutout of my 2 pages, I did do some shading of color just to give my plain cardstock some more texture and an extra pop to it. I did do both sides, and the same thing on my green piece. So let's go ahead and work this guy. So we have the top 1, 2, 3 score lines and the 4th one down here. Let's go ahead and work all of those. And then we have 1, 2, 3 to work there. And let's go ahead and work our second piece. So when you get done with this guy, it should look something like so. And then we can also work our 2 green pieces too. Okay, so we have all of our pieces folded. The next thing we need to do is get out our pieces that is going to hold our things on our platform. Now I did double mine up to give it more support. So I'm using 2 of these, and there are 2 of them in each of the files for you. I'm going to be using 1 short one and 1 longer one on each of the platforms. I'm not going to use the 3rd one like we did on the other stage pop-up card because we really don't need it. So we'll have 2 for the blue, a long and a short, and then a long and a short for the green. And I did cut my pieces out on the same sheet of paper, so it will have some color on it also. So we can go ahead and glue these 2 pieces together. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to take our shorter one and we're going to stick it in our hole here and then bend it back, put some glue on it, and then glue it down to our stage. So it should look something like that. And then when you pick it up, I just folded it forward like so. Then what we can do is lay our stage flat like so. And we're going to put glue on this tab and we're just going to fold it under and then adhere it to our back tab here. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we should have this piece that looks like so. Okay. I'm going to use tape on this larger tab section here down at the bottom. If we fold it flat, it's our last section closest to us. And that's where we adhere each side of our stage to one another. And then we can set this piece aside and work this guy. Now on this one, I'm not going to use this hole on this side for a stand because we really don't need it. But we need to make sure we're folding this the right way. We want to have a tab on our left side and a tab on our right side. So when you go to fold this, you need to make sure you have one on each side. Okay. So now we'll just take a little bit of glue, put it on our tab, and adhere it to our back tab. So let's do that. So we have this piece done, and we're going to do the same thing with these two pieces. So we're going to make sure we have a tab on our right side and a tab on our left side. And the shorter one, we're going to put in one of them. So I'm just going to stick mine through the hole, try to center it as best as I can, and fold it back, put some glue on it, and glue it to our stage. And then we'll put some glue on this tab and then adhere it to our section up here. So if you just fold this in that center line here and then lay that down, it'll line up very nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some of my tape down to put our stage together. And now I'm going to go and do the last part of the stage over here. So let's do that. Now we can do our green side. This we have additional things to do to it. So we can raise our tape if you're using tape. What I'm noticing with the ink I used on my paper, it's not making the tape stick very much. So I put a little glue on here. You don't have to do this. Now we're going to take our longer piece and we're going to center it. And you're going to just put it just a little bit above that score line right here. And then we're going to take our other piece of our stage, making sure we have a tab on the right side and a tab on the left side. And we're just going to line our two pieces up and put them down on each other. And then while it's laying flat, we can take our two tabs here, this one, and we can glue it to this side of our tab. So let's do that. Then if you take the bottom and you push the bottom up, we have our little stage here. Now we can set this one aside. Now what we need to get out is our honey beehive, the pieces that go to that. We are going to need a piece of fishing line or some sort of string if you want to put something in the center of our beehive. And you're not going to need that much. I did like 12 inches. I don't even think you'll need that much. What I did is I already have mine put together, but to know which side, how these two go together, I did put two X's so I know which is the inside so they'll line up nice because they have to be turned a certain way to match up with each other. If you need to do that to remind you of which sides need glue on it, do that. So we have our insides marked so we know which is the inside. This is our front. We are going to take our fishing line, and I use a piece of double-sided tape to hold our fishing line in place. So if you notice, this is about how much, let's see, let me put something behind it, about how much I'm putting past the top, and we're going to try to center this. So about an inch or less, we want to go past our beehive here. And this doesn't have to be exactly. You just want to be able to lay a piece over your fishing line, and you're trying to center this. And then once you have it over your fishing line, I pull my paper off my double-sided tape, and then I lay it back the other way over the fishing line. And if you can see, it's like a little loop there. And then I'm going to take it back up on that other side of the fishing line. And then I'm going to lay a piece of tape over that. And that seems to keep it from sliding. And then if you have any going past outside of your piece like I do there, you can see that right there. It's going out past it. I'm just going to snip it off so we don't see it and don't have to worry about it. And then I'm going to give this up here a good little rub. And then we're just going to do the same thing for the bottom. And you want it a little snug. You don't want it so tight that see how it's lifting? That's a little too tight. So we'll get another piece of double-sided tape. We're going to keep this, try to keep it centered as possible. And then we're going to put a piece of tape over that. Now we can take our two yellow pieces, or whatever color you're using on the inside of your beehive, and we can glue them to one another. And I'm just trying to get it centered here in the middle. Put a piece of tape over my fishing line. Then I'm going to take glue and put it around it. And then we have that finished. Isn't that cute? Now, if you want, before you get it on your piece, we can decorate it if you want. That might be a little easier. So I got both sides done here. And I did do both sides because you can twist this so they can see either side. And then this is where we're going to need acetate too, because this is a little heavy. And if we put a piece of acetate in it, it'll work out so much better. Put each of the pieces of the acetate right on these little outside of this hump here. So just on these two sections over here. So if we put one about right there like that, and the other one about like that on this side. So if we just pick up our acetate and put about a half an inch of double-sided tape on each of our sections, and then we can put it down on our beehive to adhere it to it. So let's do that. When you're putting this on, you just want to make sure you're not going outside of your circle over here. So there you go. You can see where I put the acetate on. And then I'm just going to do the other side too. Okay, so there we go. Now we can put our piece on top of it like so. And when we put the glue on, we're going to glue all the way up to where the red arrow is at and stop. So the bottom half circle area will have open to put our blue piece in that's going to hold our beehive. And we are just going to slide this guy right under in the center of it like so. And we don't want to go past that score line on our blue piece. So let's go ahead and put some glue on both sides of our beehive and glue our blue piece in, and don't go past that score line. So let's go ahead and do that. So we should have something looking like this. And this is going to give it some real nice support in our piece here. Then, if you're using tape, let's go ahead and pull these pieces up. This is the front of my piece. So this tab we want in front of this piece, okay? Because this is where we're going to put decoration. We don't want it in the back. So when you're gluing this on, if you have yours just like mine, I have my tab on the right, this tab closest to me, and then this is my front, so I'm going to lay this down like so. And you just want to glue this tab just above this score line here. And it's okay that we have extra pass here. We'll just take that and cut it off. So I'm going to cut that off now. And now we're going to take our other piece of our stage. Remember, we need a tab on the right and a tab on the left before we put this piece on. You want to sandwich it together and then give it a chance to dry. Then we're going to take our two tabs and glue them to each of our sides. So we can go ahead and do that. And then if you think everything is dry, we can give the bottom a push up. And look at that. Look how sweet that is. I love it. I think mine's a little crooked here. We're on the lean. That's okay. And then we have this on the back, which we can just twist if we want to. Let's get out our piece that's going to connect our two platforms together. And I had some tree pretty paper, so that's what I'm going to use for my backdrop of it. But if you don't have trees, you could just do some brown paper. And we have two score lines here, so let's work those. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put my 3 pieces of pretty paper on, which will line up like in each section. So let's go ahead and do that. We can go ahead and put our 2 pieces together. I like to get it on and then decorate my tree so I can see where I want everything. And if I need to cut things down, I can do that. So I'm going to put mine on the inside of my stage. So you just need a little glue around at the bottom, and then instead of like last time that we did it, instead of putting it like so, we're just going to put it on the inside of this lip here, and it will fit in it like that right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So just a little glue along the bottom here. And then once you have it in there, you can give it a close, and then you'll be able to give it a good rub down once it's in. So it's looking something like that. Now when we glue this piece on, we want our two pieces facing closest to us. So we're turning it upside down. See my two pieces? They're closest to the top. And we're just going to slide this guy in here like so and glue it around the edge of it like that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so now to put our tree pieces on, we're just going to take these guys, and doesn't matter which one. You'll put one in the front here, and you will have to cut these to however long or short you want them. What I noticed on this one that I've done, I think this one's a little bit too long. So what I would do is just trim a little off the top so you can see more of our branch here. But that's just a preference. So if you notice, I have this bottom piece on and it fits very nicely in here. You wouldn't have to cut anything. And this guy, we're definitely going to have to cut it down some. So, and you just trim it off wherever you want. Like I took that little bit off and it fits in there nicely. And if you like how that looks, then you don't need to cut any more off of that guy. And I think I'm going to just trim just a smidge off the top here. So I can see more of this back tree. Yeah, I like that better. And so what we'll do now is just take a little glue on our tabs up here and then place our tree on there. So let's do that. Oh, so now we can see how that looks. I like that. And for my limb, because I had a little bit of flimsy cardstock for my brown, I'm going to double it to make it a little bit sturdier. So I'm going to glue my two pieces together here. So I have our limb here, and I just stick mine up under this on the back one, but between these two greeneries where you can't really see that. See how you can't see, but I'm going to try to turn it so you can see where I'm gluing it to. Hold that in place. So like that is how I'm gluing it on that back green. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish up the rest of my card because what's left is just to decorate it. And then I'll be back to show you what I have done. I'll see you in just a sec. Okay guys, so here's our nice big envelope. We can slide it right out. And I love how this Pooh card turned out. And then we just push our two ends right here. I love how this double platform stage card turned out. Down here it just says you make my heart buzz. And then we did some bees and flowers over there. Trees, the limb with the flowers on it. And then I also did some at the top so it's not left undecorated. And look at that. Added another little Pooh down here. And let's not forget Piglet and Pooh. How cute they turned out. And it stands up very nicely by itself. I keep holding it like this so you guys can see it on camera. You guys know what is small, black, yellow, and drops things? A fumblebee. guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping.